new buds coming out, and it's ready for its first real bonsai pot, I think. So as you can see, I've got this larch tree here, and the larch is an unusual tree in that it is what's known as a deciduous conifer. It loses its needles, it loses its leaves in the fall, and then the leaves come back in the spring. And the time to repot them, as I'm told, is just as the new shoots are coming out, and that is right now. So I'm going to repot this tree into its first bonsai pot, I think. So let's find the pot and get that ready. I've got a couple of candidates for repotting this tree. This is a pot that the glaze didn't fire to completion, but I kind of like the look of that. And it's one that I made last year, and I like the fact that it's deep, and it seems to be a good length and a good size for this tree to grow on just a bit more. It could grow a bit more, but there's also this pot here, which I really quite like, which I haven't done anything with yet, and it's made in sort of a rough brown clay with some underglaze painting and scratching through. And I don't know, but these conifers are traditionally done in raw pots, and so it is a conifer, although this is quite low. Well, let's prepare the pot, and then we'll see what happens when we open up the roots. If you haven't seen this before, I'll just explain something about preparing the pot to put the tree in. Bonsai pots are like major drainage. Because the water column is so small, it's so easy for it to get waterlogged. So we pack it full of soil that has a lot of aggregate in it. But if I were to just throw soil into this, it would fall through the hole. So what I've got to do is take some of this mesh that I get from Michael's and chop it up into small squares, if I can find them here, like so. Keep a stock of them around. There we are. There's one and two. I can put that away. So that has nice big holes, but not so big that I can't have good drainage for my pots. So now I'm going to make some of those little butterflies. You don't have to do this. You can just use a plain old piece of wire and stick it down in there, but I don't know. There's something about the craftsman in me that really wants to make these little butterfly things because they're kind of nice. And like so. So it ends up being sort of a figure 8 or an infinity symbol. And cut that and bend this down and this up. And then I can take these wires and put them through here, through that hole, like so. At least that's what I was taught. And some people poo-poo this. They think it's unnecessary. And it probably is. Who am I to say? But, so now you can see that it's firmly held in place, right? And every time I move it around, I'm not going to stick myself with wires coming out the bottom of my pot. And that's really sort of the only advantage, except for the fact that the drainage screens here do not end up being part of the root ball generally. So put that through there. Bend these wires here, like so. So the smaller holes are for some wire to go through, and I'm just gonna take that and we want a little extra wire, but no, we don't want to waste it all. So that would be good right there. Give myself a little bit extra. Like that. Put these away in such a way that they're not going to unroll on me and make a big mess. Okay. So I think, for this tree, I only need one tie down wire, if I need a wire at all. Some people don't even do this, and that's fine. It's really sort of a matter of personal choice. I know this larch is going to be going outside though, and I know I'm going to be moving it around a lot this summer, this growing season. So there's my pot all set for the larch. Okay. So I'm going to, this larch came to me via Chris Henry, the bonsai guy. And he just, I was walking out the door one day after a little lesson with him, and he sort of handed me this tree and said, here, see what you can do with this. So I immediately took it home and threw some wire around it and did the old Peter Chan stir the pot thing. And it's set pretty good. So there it is. And now I just need a tray so that I don't make a huge mess. And I'll take the tree out of the pot. Now, I'll tell you the difference between getting a tree at a regular nursery, which is fine, right? Or getting it at a specialty nursery like Mr. Henry runs for bonsai trees. He grows these specially for a bonsai, and what he'll do is sprout the seed, if he grows it from seed, and then grow it on for a bit, and then he'll cut the taproot. I'll just get a chopstick and try and get this off, this soil off. So it's just a better quality tree if you get it from a specialty nursery, somebody who sort of knows what they're doing about bonsai, instead of this. When you see the difference between a tree like this grown especially for this, and you can see all these lovely nice roots down here, and another one where the roots eventually, they just plunk the tree in, and the roots go round and round and round the pot, and end up making sort of a cake out of the root ball. Whereas this seems to be nice and healthy, and I'm trying to untangle this so that I can have a look at the roots and adjust them, root prune them in an intelligent way, so that I end up with a nice, what's known as nabari. There's your word for today. The nabari is the exposed roots. A lot of people throw these Japanese words around and try and impress you, and believe me, I don't know anything about it, but the nabari is what makes the tree look strong. It's what fools the eye into thinking that this is a larger tree, but in miniature. So you can see, oh my, these lovely Lovely roots. Okay, so I'll clean this up and we'll come back and we'll have a look at the roots. All right. I'm washing the roots free of all of that old soil. And the reason why I'm doing that is because this is my opportunity to really adjust those roots and make sure that they're moving in a lateral direction. See, there's a whole bunch over here that it looks like this tree originally grew up against the wall of a pot, like so, and so it probably came from a cutting, but this is my opportunity to take these roots and train them to be in a lateral direction. So hopefully I can do that. Alright, put this up here. So I can take that off. That's just gonna get in the way and circle around. But the rest I don't want to cut too much off because they feed the leaves. You got to keep those roots healthy and happy, and that's part of what this is about. There's one down below it that can fill in the space and start to move laterally. This one here is sticking up a little bit. I'm going to cut that back like so. There we are. That's the way to do it. All right there. So that's going to go in my pot. Like so. Much better. Much better. Much better. Okay. Okay, so now we get the pot. And put in some soil. So here we are. Take and put some of this soil in. And like I say, this is mostly some kind of aggregate. It's got a lot of perlite in it, obviously. Some turfus. It does have a fair bit of lime bark or pine bark in it, which is wonderful for these trees. So there we go. Put that in there, and I'm just going to mound it up a little in the middle, or where I want the tree. I'm going to offset it a little bit. So here is my tree, and I'm going to take it and spread the roots out. Yeah. Ooh. What's that doing there? So spread those roots out. That one's a little long. Like so. And this one can come over this way. And there they are. Okay. So now I'm just going to take a little bit more soil. And I'm going to cover the roots a bit. I saw somebody do this, and I thought it was a really good idea. Covering the roots a little bit before you actually take it and wire the tree in. Hopefully that protects the roots a little. So it's just offset a little bit in the pot. I'm just going to loosely tighten these loosely put these together so they're kind of out of the way, so you can see, you know, this is a little slightly to the left, right? And I'm just going to grind it in to the soil a little bit and put some more soil on top. I'm happy with where it is. And then I'm just gonna get my chopstick and I'm gonna lift the tree up a little bit so that the roots flow down naturally into the soil. Just lifting it up a little bit, and if I'm worried about it, I can just push this soil right in under the tree, so I'm sure that all those roots are in contact with the tree, with the soil, I mean. So make sure there's no air bubbles. And then I'm going to get my pliers and grab this, grab the two wires here and pull, and then pinch these two wires and then give them a twist. I saw young Adam do this the other night. So there's the tree, more or less locked in place, right? And he just left the wire sitting up because once the roots are established, you can see how loose the tree is now. But once the roots are established, the tree won't move, and I can remove the wire and let the roots grow as they will. And then in another couple of years, repot. Wire cutters. There we are. Just cut that. Get that out of the way. And then I'm going to fill the rest with soil, leaving a bit of a dam around the outside so that the water flows in. Let's see me. There we go. Firmly hold the tree in. I'm watching some Australian bonsai nursery growers, and they will often really compress the soil down like this. So there we have it. There's one side, the back, and then back to the front. It'll be interesting to see what decisions I make on this larch as the summer goes forward. All right. So there you go. Repot your bonsai. Now's the time.